The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I am Paige Clarke, and this is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
That's right, Paige, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico and Haan.
It's, we assume it's going to be a beautiful day. It's 68 degrees. Hope you're having nice weather where you are. If you get a chance, pick up some of our Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. Primal Edge is a one-shot wonder multivitamin, multi-nutrient, essential amino acids based on the power of fulvic and humic, so we can make sure you get the good stuff into your cells.
And they take the good bad stuff out, and it's only $89 to deliver to your door, folks. Also like to remind you to pick up Health Signals newsletter. I got a great article in here about living with electro-hypersensitivity.
Which we're going to talk a little bit about.
We're going to talk about that
EMFs today.
Yeah, but it's a really extensive article. I really recommend you go through it. It's very in-depth, and it covers just about everything electrical stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have, I hope to have a guest, a friend of mine. He just wrote the book, The Tinfoil Hat Guide, the Non-Tinfoil Hat Guide to EMFs. And I'm hoping to have him on the show because he's going to be doing some training for practitioners, but I think it's well worth everyone taking the course that he's going to have, because they can start to implement these things themselves. So I hope to get that scheduled in the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
And listen, if you're up and at it early, give us a call and join the conversation at 877-927-6648. That's right, Nico.
Okay.
So I found these photos that I thought, speaking of electricity, let's take a look. I don't know. I hope you guys can see this picture. But the truth is, these are electric cables that were really seen quite frequently back in the late 1800s and the 1880s. Look at these wires over New York City.
This is the way the cities looked, I guess. I wasn't
go
around
back to that
time.
picture for 1 second.
This one here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
These are wires over New York City in 1887. I find that just, really, I hope is that being able to be seen on the telestrator?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see over there. Yeah. And here's some telegraphs over Stockholm. This is Broadway, New York, in 1880s, the postcard. The wires were so significant that they were actually drawn into the artwork of the postcard, if you go back to that one.
I mean, they're low, they're high, they're crisscrossing, they're everywhere.
Uh-huh.
This is amazing. Of course, the same electricity is in the air now, but a lot of it is through larger cables.
70-foot poles were part of the scenery in the early days.
Yeah.
And you see those little glass jars. I mean, I actually used to have some of those that the wires came into.
Yeah.
And dozens of telephone wires on the roofs in Stockholm, Sweden between 1890 and 19. I think this is worth taking a gander, but really my point is to show you that, when we started to embrace this new technology, they didn't mess around. They started moving it all around.
Well, the implication is here that we have reports from long ago that the problems with electricity started long before Wi-Fi.
Well, it's very interesting, but nobody really connected the dots. And I came across an article, it was at exhibits.hsl.virginia.edu, so it's probably out of UVA in Virginia. It talks about neurasthenia and the culture of nervous exhaustion, an introduction. And this nervous energy and nervous exhaustion was something that in the 1880s, physicians developed a diagnostic profile for a condition afflicting the leading families of the United States. Now, who would be the people that would have access to electricity in their homes at this time?
The best educated, the most cultures, Americans.
Were
probably.
suffering from a new, distinctly American condition that was destroying their health.
So this was the elite, actually,
Yeah.
back then.
They had migraines, they had poor digestion, fatigue, depression, and even complete mental collapse in alarming numbers, and they suffered from neurasthenia or nervous exhaustion.
Yeah.
So this diagnostic profile was actually created by George Miller Beard.
Back in 1881.
Yeah, in 1881, he was an MD and an early neurologist and graduate of the College of Physicians and Surgeons of New York. Now, that's kind of interesting, too. Remind me, if we think of that, remember, there were at this time, most of the doctors that people saw were the naturopathic doctors, the ones that were actually trained in health.
Right.
But the physicians and surgeons, you would say, were more or less the cut-em-up type of guys. They were really the minority, and on the outside, I'm digressing.
Well, it was a new type of medicine that was coming along, and everybody pretty much had the culture of going to see somebody that had a natural way of doing things. When we started doing surgeries and things like that, we came upon things like drugs.
Well, that was, we didn't just come, we were directed to them, because John D. Rockefeller found his coal tar derivative pharmaceuticals, and he said, hey, I need to create a market for this. So he used his money to bribe the medical schools that they would follow a procedure of prescribing these pharmaceutical drugs instead of using natural cure, and then all of a sudden we saw the rise of the physicians and surgeons. So Beard based his idea on the theory of nervous energy, and that is the health and capabilities of the nervous system. If this energy was depleted or abused, the person fell into nervous exhaustion and debilitating conditions. Beard's best-known books were American Nervousness, Its Causes and Consequences, and the Practical Treatise on Nervous Exhaustion. I brought this up because I was thinking, looking at these wires that you may see in the telestrator behind us, do you think that might have had anything to do with it?
And folks, because we don't see this today, it means that it's still going through the air.
Exactly.
So a little different than and perhaps a lot of the stuff that's going through the air may be even worse than what's going through the wires, because at least the wires are grounded in a sense.
Exactly. It's
Well,
very
they're not grounded,
interesting.
but the poles are.
This doctor had a great graph on general nerve sensitiveness and evolution of nervousness, starting with some of the symptoms that started. Listen to this. At the bottom of the chain would be nervous dyspepsia. The tummy gets upset, okay? And then a sick headache. Nearsightedness, a sign that the...
So maybe this is when the eyes started going bad because of this?
Sleeplessness. Asthenopia. Honestly, I don't even know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. Hay fever. How many of you guys knew that? Hypochondria. Hysteria. And then it would get into the nervous exhaustion, which would be categorized. I'm reading off of a diagram, folks, that's from this book.
Here's the chart right here.
Okay, yeah. Cerebral, spinal, digestive, and sexual exhaustion. Inebriety and epilepsy, and finally insanity. We're going to continue this conversation just a tiny bit, and then we're going to give you some tips on how you can perhaps start protecting yourself from electrosensitivity.
We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Hello, everybody. Were we actually suffering from electrosensitivity as far back as the 1880s? We're talking about a medical doctor, Dr. Beard, who saw neurasthenia, I hope I'm saying that right, as created by the hectic, fast-paced life in American cities. He even called it American nervousness. The nation's leaders in business, government, and the arts were falling ill by the stress and strains of modern life, and the only cure was withdrawal from the pressures of urban life, rest, and a simpler, healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, maybe a little vacation helps too.
Yeah, they had to go to like the
woods.
Solariums, the woods. They'd go to the spas.
Go out in the bush just like we have to do today. The interesting thing is that the treatment was really strictly for Americans, but the concept soon became part of the standard medicine also in Great Britain, France, Germany, in Holland, of course, and China and Japan.
So yeah, and as it gradually spread to more and more groups of society, it wasn't just the elite. And again, I think the reason the elite were suffering it is they had the money to be around these new technologies. They might have had a phone.
They're working in the cities, and they may go to their homes, but their homes were all electric.
They were all electric, and they had the phone, you know.
And remember, at that time, folks, the state of America was, most of it was not urban. It was out in the bush, and people were living off the land, and people were still not connected to, a lot of times, not even plumbing. They weren't connected, for sure, to electricity outside the city.
I think this was a very telling what it said, a simpler, healthier lifestyle. This is what so many of us that are in the non-native EMF environment, EMFwarriors.com is a group I'm part of, you're part of, I think, you know, where we're really learning about these impacts. But, you know, what does modern medicine say about the diagnostic category of neurasthenia? It's no longer an official diagnostic category in Western medicine, except in psychiatry, where it's rarely used outside of China and Japan. Instead, modern physicians recognize different conditions such as clinical depression, fibromyalgia, post-traumatic stress disorder, postpartum, and perhaps chronic fatigue and mononucleosis as being part of what physicians in the 1900s called neurasthenia. So we started to break apart this diagnostic category, and we know how that happens. When they break it apart, it allows them to create diagnostic codes and perhaps treatments and or drugs that are directed at that area.
And the situation we see today is a lot of problems with depression. Certainly, if we look at what's been happening in this last few years of all the gun violence and everything like that, I do believe it's directly tied to the state of health, and especially the mental health of people. So.
Oh, certainly. And that really creates a perfect environment for these people to be manipulated by things such as the
Sure.
MK Ultra program, which we know has been used to force people to do things
there.
there.
If you're not manipulated, maybe you're more zombie-like and you're just being told what to do, and it's okay because that's the only thing you can do, is kind of listen and go along with whatever's happening. Yeah, so it's something that we see, and as I always say, these are the results of and symptoms of our society, and I don't think these things are going to change, whether it's gun laws or whether we put guards in schools or teachers carry gun. I don't think that's going to change the situation. It may perceive to be a little safer. I think that's going to escalate the violence. Now we're going to have a war between the haves and the have-nots, and the people in education carry the. I don't think it's a good idea. I think we just change our society for the better, and starting with the food, as I always say.
Speaking of the food, let's go to some nutrition for wireless radiation. You know, we're showing you the pictures of what the electromagnetic world in 1881 looked like, and now today we don't see much of it, but trust me, it's there. We're swimming in an electromagnetic soup, so to speak. Some of our electromagnetic field is generated by the Earth itself, some of which even the Earth's electromagnetic fields can be stressful for the human body. We call that geopathic stress. But what might you do? These adverse effects of wireless technologies and other types of EMFs, they can be exacerbated by both deficiencies of key nutrients,
Right.
you know, which might be such things as antioxidants, because EMFs cause oxidation,
Right.
rusting,
Right.
damage. Or they could be from toxicity, having too many metals. We see that really metals are implicated in helping us to become human antennas.
And no doubt about it, because all those precious metals are going into all our little
Not all of them are
devices.
precious, though.
Well, that's what they call them, but you're right.
No.
The thing is that the electricity that went through the air in the 1800s is going through the air everywhere now, not just in the cities anymore, but it's everywhere. We had somebody on the chat room saying, how about those charged? I think it was Matt from Vail was asking, what about these charging stations now that are wireless? Well, of course, if you're wireless, then you're pumping more electricity.
Matt, we shouldn't even be in wireless. I mean, the goal would be to remove wireless from your home. I mean, it's the sad, hard truth. We're all sitting here with our jaws on the chair. You mean all this technology that we've been sold and told is going to make our lives easier? Sure, it does, but it's a slow death. It's not good for us.
But even if you take a step like that, which I took the TV out, you know, we took the cable out and we went to just the Wi-Fi type of stuff, and some of them are wired in. But even if you take that out, when you go home and you look at your Wi-Fi connection, you'll see 8 or 10 neighbors.
You see your neighbors, right.
So those things are going through your house. So no matter if you don't have wireless or not, it's going to be going through your house from your neighbors.
Well, I told you that when I had Brian Hoyer to my house,
Right.
Brian Hoyer of Shielded Healing, it's exactly what he found. He said, look, the biggest stressor that you have is not your toys in your house, but the tower that's 1.5 miles from you, or the 63 towers that are within the mile from you, and the pulsing signal, and the smart meter, and your neighbor's smart meter, and your neighbor's toys. It's the conglomeration of it all that's the real stressor on the body. What can you do? You spend a lot of money making your house a Faraday cage.
Right.
And you know, it's
aluminum siding may help?
Aluminum siding, aluminum roofs, but that's not going to do it all. You need special fabric at your windows that cuts it. I mean, you know, my bedroom remediation was about 15 grand. Hasn't been done yet.
No.
I'm not happy about that. Not happy about it. I'm thinking about buying a teepee and putting it in my backyard to sleep.
So I think that's why we need to really be talking about the nutrition, protection through nutrition.
It's not enough, Nico.
No, I agree with that.
We got to talk.
We got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we got to start with the nutrition. We got to start with changing our environment. And what I learned from Brian, and I'm going to have my other friend Nick, he wrote the book, The Non-Tinfoil hat guide to electromagnetic frequencies. His new book is out on Amazon. I'm going to have him on the show. You know, we have to start doing things because these are the big elephants in the closet. But getting back to the nutrition.
Well, let me say something. So the guy with the tinfoil hat really is the smart guy.
With a non-tinfoil, what he's saying is, let's get it down to how you can use it. I mean, I think the title of his book, and we'll let him explain that to us, is that look, you guys can think this stuff's not real, but it's not going to make the elephant go away in the room. Mm-hmm. It's there, and let's break it down to some proofs for you so you can implement it in your house.
Well, also, I think just getting off social media, and that is a healthy step by itself. I've been threatening to do that, and because we post a show, and I do a lot of things with my kids, over the air, through the Wi-Fi.
I want to talk
always
about
reluctant.
that.
There's reluctancy for me to change those things because we want to pretend that we're tied to people.
Well, I know. We got to talk about that. That could be a whole show.
Okay, we'll
but
be right
stay
back.
with us.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
It's a special month at TFNN, and with market volatility back, we've decided to hold an open house in our Tiger's Den. For this month only, you can get a full 30 days of Tiger's Den membership without paying anything. The Tiger's Den is our interactive chat room where you can chat with other tigers and tigresses along with the TFNN hosts during each of their programs. For all of the details and to start your 30-day free trial to the Tiger's Den today, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this deal is gone.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So before the break, we were talking a little bit about the social media stuff, which, of course, my kids are on there, so I look at that. I know it's the same thing with you, and I do post occasionally a thing here or two. And I'm looking forward to the 2-week break in June when I go up to Colorado, because then I can be Wi-Fi free. And it's not just about the Wi-Fi, because social media is not about connecting with people. It seems like it is.
It's a fake imposter of connecting with people.
It is that, and it's all about me.
It is, and this is what I picture now, because we see all the censorship and like the big Twitter block out that's just happened, people that are expressing views that are not part of the mainstream media, they're losing their followers, and Twitter is also a big part of the
And Facebook is doing the same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, Facebook, YouTube,
Yep.
Twitter. But the whole point is, what I've noticed is what social media does is they make you think you have these friends, and then you're just talking to yourself.
Yep.
Unless your subject matter is going along with the agenda that they want to put forth. But if it's contrary, you become an island amongst yourself. So the truth is, none of your friends are seeing your stuff.
Well, not only that, there's many things that come along my ticker, and once in a while you say, oh, yeah, I know him, and I don't want to read it, but I'll click like.
Right.
The pull is always there, and it really does bother me. So
It bothers me because so many young people really are basing their worth on how many likes they have.
yeah, of course.
So look how many likes and
Yeah.
views I had, and I find it so shallow and so disheartening. But we were
It is,
talking.
but we all look at that. That's the thing. When I get 200 likes on something, I say, wow, But it's superficial. It really doesn't mean anything, folks. But yeah, let's get back to the nutrition, because nutrition is what the show is all about. But also the whole thing about looking at a primal lifestyle. The first thing you think up when you wake up in the bush is what I'm going to eat, how can I improve my shelter, and how can I keep my family safe.
Exactly, and so
That's
we
not
kind
what,
of.
now we're thinking about how to keep the family safe, sure, because this stuff is in the headlines, but it's not because that's our natural thing to do. It's because we're spurred on by all this news about, God, we are living in a violent world, and there's nothing, I guess, we can do about it, so we better be afraid, and we better start protecting ourselves, which may lead to more and more of this.
Right. So getting back to the article that we were below, there are key nutrients that are suggested for healing the effects of non-native EMFs. And these are recommended and provided for either through natural sources, through food, and or nutritional supplements such as vitamins or minerals, etc. The best solution, however, is still to reduce EMF exposures to begin with, just like the people in 1881, Dr. Beard said that in order for people to recover from neurasthenia, they needed to escape to the country and to a less stressful lifestyle. We need to maybe take heed, because EMFs not only lead to biological damage, but also to the reduced ability to repair this damage. So.
And of course, we have the other things like GMOs and pesticides and contaminated.
Which we've kind of exhausted
yeah.
that. So we're going to focus a little bit on what we can do to protect this real big elephant in the room, which is the EMFs.
Yeah. Now, the first thing on the list is really remarkable because a good night's sleep for melatonin.
And to interject there, when Brian Hoyer, the EMF remediation specialist, came to my home, what he said is it's so catastrophic what this stuff does to you, and so expensive, because none of our houses were built to protect us, that the real focus needs to be on making your sleeping environment a sanctuary, an EMF free sanctuary, in effect a Faraday cage. And we'll learn more about how you can do that.
And it's of course going to be cheaper to just do one room, so maybe you should start thinking about having that family sleep room that we talk about that our ancient ancestors always had.
Right, bring all the kids in, because I'm going to tell you, when you have to do 3 and 4 kids rooms, because it can get quite pricey, because we've never done this right. But there is a move towards do this. So the good night's sleep is important, because that's where we do our rest and repair
And
stage.
the second on the list is the opposite, waking up and supplementing vitamin D3, which you get from the sun naturally. So when you wake up, you look into the sun, into
You're
that
going to
morning
get
sun.
those frequencies. The vitamin D is not out in the morning, but those programming frequencies are actually in the early morning sun, as we've learned from Jack Cruz and others, is where we actually make our melatonin so that we get the good night's sleep for repair.
Now, some vegetables like cabbage, kale, cauliflower, these are all pretty much the same vegetables, but those types of vegetables are very, very good for us.
The cruciferous are actually help us with the detoxification protocol.
Yeah, because there's some fiber
They're
in there.
well, they're sulfur rich.
And they're sulfur rich, exactly.
Exactly.
And they get that from the soil naturally, just like our Primal Edge, folks.
That's right, organic berries, because they are rich in polyphenols, the reds and the blues. They have the antioxidants that help us deal with this. And then finally, the herbs such as turmeric, ginger, garlic, rich in the phytochemicals that are anti-inflammatory. And when we take these herbs, we need a nutritional delivery, and the body loves fat and the body loves pepper as a synergist.
Yes.
Because many times it's a synergist.
Yeah, that pepper actually makes everything a little bit stronger, makes it work a little bit better, and excites the whole system to accept that. So that's really cool.
So but I wanted to just, before we go to the next thing, Nico, there's some related blog articles that were associated. This might be a good one for us to put in the next Health Signals letter, because here are some topics, how to potentially save your brain. Well, Nico and I are going to share some information of how we might help detoxify our brain, because the brain is the most sensitive to a lot of this
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
by the way, you remember we were talking about putting your face in the ice?
Yes.
Okay, so when I came home, my wife had the pan in the freezer.
She already
I
had it
opened the
ready?
freezer for some ice, and I see it in there. I go, that's my baby.
You know what? Isn't that great?
Yeah, so
What a
the
team.
first night I did it was a few nights ago, and filled it with water, let the water get real nice and cold, and stuck my head in it for 30 seconds, and my God, I says, I probably will never do this again. It was so cold. It was just, but then about 3 nights later, I said, okay, let me, go back and do it again. They say the second time is a little easier. It was a breeze.
Yeah.
So second time I did it about 30, 45 seconds. Last night I did it for a whole minute, holding my breath.
Did you check the temperature of the water?
No, but it's ice cold because the ice is right there.
Yeah.
So I let it set for a few minutes, spun it around. So did it help me sleep? Well, actually, the last week I've been sleeping really, really well. So maybe there's a connection, maybe there's not. But it's a good way to get that cold shock without dipping yourself completely.
And it's very effective. The face has a lot of the nerves that send the messages to the brain and help the brain detoxify.
But
More help on that at Jack Cruz's
that
CT.
first night, I was so cold that I shivered for about a half hour after that. I went into bed, put covers on me. I was just shivering, and I can't get rid of this. And that night, I really didn't have that great a sleep. But since I started doing it again, I always do things at least twice. So.
You know what? I love that about you. You don't mess around. If you decide you hear something, you go do it. So I want to get back to these other referenced articles, because Nico's going to put this in our next Health Signals newsletter. You may want to follow up. So we just said how you can save your brain. Just the titles of these articles let you know there's stuff you need to know. Lessons from anti-cancer nutrition. Are you making the link there? When the nervous system is out of balance, what can develop? Potential benefits of vitamin D for electrosensitivity.
Right.
If we get our vitamin D, that's why so many of us in this in the mitochondriac world, we're getting out in the sun to build high iron content in the brain. Iron makes you an antenna. When we've got electricity, do we want to be an antenna? I think not. So.
Well, we have a couple more, which we'll start after the break, and
Yeah.
we'll continue this. This
Sounds
is very
good.
interesting.
Take a short break.
And the number here is 877-927-6648. Time to pick up some Primal Edge, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back, folks. So we're talking about EMFs. There's a couple of scientists at the University of Washington found that the EMF-induced DNA damage could be blocked with antioxidants, even before you use these devices or after exposure. Vitamin C, vitamin E.
Caffeic acid, which is in coffee, and melatonin are said to help against microwaves based on rat studies.
Yeah, in particular, vitamin C said to offer protection to the watery areas of the cell, so the liquid in the cells, from the damage itself. And meanwhile, the vitamin E is said to offer protection from the fatty areas of the cell from the oxidation damage. This is one of the reasons why everybody should be on a supplement, a multi-supplement like the Primal Edge, a good little one, because we're talking about damage to our cells. And of course, with the humic and the fulvic acid, we have a signaling process that goes on there that lets the good stuff in and the bad stuff out, like we always say. But it's really important to have something that really works and connects with your body. That's why we invented the Primal Edge.
Did you see what I heard what it said? It says, you know, whereas I like to teach my clients about being an ACE. Remember vitamins A, C, and E?
Right.
They're really, you know, or actually I say aced. With a D on the end, be aced, you know,
Yeah, okay.
because these are the vitamins, and all of them are fat soluble with the exception of C. And so I think that was crucial that vitamin C is for the watery areas. But folks, you know, we've got to help our bodies get it because we're not getting the relaxation and stress reduction. People are just not getting grounded or getting away from their cities or the busy life enough. We've got to, this is a quantum effect. We have to do multiple things to get a quantum result. Yeah. So let's go on a little bit, you know.
Here for the antioxidant vitamin C, you can eat plenty of organic, non-GMO fruits, and especially like berries, the small ones, you know, the wild blueberries. Also recommending combining vitamin C foods.
Recommending not.
Oh, to avoid vitamin C-rich foods with the high aluminum content, like tea, and the higher iron contents of maybe some coffees or some teas.
See, guys, there's like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Certain vitamins and nutrients can also, they help protect, but they can also help the absorption of things that we don't want.
So
one of the reasons that fulvic, humic is so powerful because it has an intelligence. Yeah. It says, this is a good metal. I need this. You know, this is a good nutrient. Oh, this is a positively charged bad one. I need to package this and get rid of it. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought this was interesting, too. Here's an herb, ginkgo biloba. We know that this actually is a very intelligent herb that is known to help memory because it opens up the circulation in the brain and so forth. But it actually protects against oxidative stress from mobile phone radiation. So having a little ginkgo, I think there's ginkgo in our Primal Edge as well. But, you know, even if one's intake of antioxidants through food is inadequate, an iron-free multivitamin containing natural rather than synthetic vitamins may be helpful on days when exposure is unavoidable. That's every day, folks, because exposure is unavoidable. We live in, you know, we live in that kind of a world.
So one of the things they did, they say here, vitamin D3 may be beneficial for people who have this sensitivity to the electric thing. They observed more than 450 patients on electromagnetic field intolerance from 2008 to 2011 and found that vitamin D deficiency was around 70%.
Well, what we see is that exactly so over 70% of the people are deficient in vitamin D, and that's multifactorial. We have people that are not taking the time to get some solar radiation. We've got government-passed aerosol engineering spraying happening that's blocking our solar radiation, and most people are just oblivious to it. And vitamin D is always a deficiency where you see diseases, many of the autoimmune diseases. It just is.
And this is why most of the time when you feel bad, you get colds and things like that. It's in the winter time when there's less sun, so that correlates really good.
Correct.
Due to limitations, some people may want to consider vitamin D3. Be sure not to overdose, but I don't know how you overdose on that, really.
It's really kind of a crazy thing with vitamin D. Well, yeah, you know, there's some people that feel that overdosing, but again, it is a hormone. So I like to remind people, because I like to suggest we rejuvenate our hormones, not replace them. Vitamin D is actually a hormone, folks. We call it vitamin D, but it's a hormone. And the best source of vitamin D is the sun.
10 minutes in the sun is all you need.
If you do that every day, you're going to start making it. Maybe a little bit more, but you've got to also use your common sense based on your skin, what we call your solar callus. You have to build your solar callus so that you can assimilate it.
Then the other thing is the melatonin has neuroprotective effect on the brain.
Yes, we've talked about that quite extensively, particularly the one scientist, Dr. Walter Polipari or something like that. He's out of Italy, where he researched the two sisters who both had exposure to electronics, and one sister supplemented melatonin, the other didn't. There was quite a difference in the aging effects.
Yeah, and also the different antioxidants and the different vitamins we're talking about, like melatonin and D3, also take care of different frequencies. So each one is kind of tuned to a different frequency. So that's why it's important to take multivitamins.
But I'm going to go back and say melatonin is a hormone.
Yes,
when you supplement your hormones, you shut down your own feedback loop. That's why the approach I use is very unique compared to a lot of these anti-aging people. They're supplementing hormones and they're shutting down their own feedback loop. So how do we make melatonin? We talked about it earlier today. You get up at sunrise and you gaze into the sun like the Sphinx, and that is where you make your melatonin. You actually get the frequencies that allow your body to manufacture the melatonin hormone.
So kind of what you're saying is that if we're taking some of these supplements, they may be actually stopping us from doing the natural thing that gets it to us for free.
I always believe in doing the natural thing
and
get it there for free.
Yeah.
And I do want to be cautious that that there are certain things that we, vitamin C supplementation, I'm going to do a show on this. I have always loved whole food vitamin C, but I've listened to some very interesting podcasts about the research that Linus Pauling did on the power of vitamin C to reverse arterial sclerosis. It was not the natural vitamin C that did the result. It was the ascorbic acid from a good, clean source is where we want to get it. Well, no, from ascorbic acid, the synthesized version. But the key point is it may very well be due to the damage that we need this now. So that's an interesting thing. So what we know is we love vitamin C. Omega-3 fatty acids have been recommended by many people as part of a treatment plan for electrosensitivity. However, it's oftentimes the omegas in conjunction with everything else. Where would we prefer you get them? We would prefer you get them from natural animal-based sources, which is the healthy way to get them from your food and so forth.
That's for sure. Of course, the vegetables, all these little seeds are not good for us, but what the seeds produce is really good for us. So the fruit of the tree is what we want. And one of the problems is, of course, that they're seasonal, but maybe that's a good thing, because if we're going to need this vitamin C and all that comes with it in these berries, they're there at the fall, and we know the hard winter's coming. It's just a natural progression. Unfortunately, we're so out of sync with our nature that we need the supplements, and that's why the supplementation these days is important, like you said.
Yes. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stick around, folks.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental, so I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
So we've been talking about keeping our body healthy in this toxic world, specifically as it relates to electromagnetic fields. And the brain is, being a fatty organ, is very sensitive to toxins. And here's an interesting article from Dr. John Juilliard, Ayurvedic physician. Just love his work. Olive oil removes debris and toxins from the brain. And the process of autophagy is the breakdown and clearance of intracellular debris and toxins by the body's cells. And this process happens to the body naturally when we fast. fasting is a cleaning house situation. But Dr. Yoshinori Oshumi won the Nobel Prize in 2016 in physiology and medicine for his research on autophagy and fasting.
Yeah, there's also a new study that extra virgin olive oil was shown to protect the brain and boost the cognitive function through this process of autophagy, the gobbling up of toxins and debris from the brain chemistry.
You know, that's very interesting because a family person in our family always believed, he was Italian, and he always believed that had to have a shot of olive oil every day, no matter about the cooking. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people in the Italian, you know, we think that they cooked with olive oil, but real Italians know, really, you do the butter and then you add the oil after you remove it from the heat, correct. So this study used a group of mice, and they were given a standard chow diet, and another group was given a diet enriched with true extra virgin olive oil. And after just 3 months, the group of mice on the enriched diet with the extra virgin olive oil performed better on tests of working memory, learning, compared to the mice who ate the regular diet.
Yeah, the researchers concluded that the mice who were genetically prone to cognitive decline saw significant changes in the brain, such as a better nerve conductive, less accumulation of the bad stuff, and the positive behavioral changes from the extra virgin olive oil.
That's exactly right. And this is the question, though, folks, before, you know, as we wrap this up. Is your olive oil legit? There's a lot of health benefits to olive oil. The monosaturated fats, again, we believe that some of these fats can be used as a way to bind, especially when you have something like fulvic and humic in your body, to bind the bad toxins and help remove them from the body. But many standards have been violated, and the International Olive Oil Council in the United States has found that many of the purities of olive oil sold in the U.S. have been violated. 75 to 80% of the U.S. olive oil brands do not meet the legal standards to be sold as extra virgin.
Yeah, some of them, oxidation to higher temperatures is really, really poor. They've
been adulterated.
Yeah, there's cheap, so they put some really good olive oil in the bottom of it, and the rest of it is the crap. And olives are made from damaged, you know, the way they store the olives. So,
I also know that in restaurants,
yeah.
But first of all, most of your salad dressings in restaurants are going to be made with cottonseed or canola oil. You just do not want a restaurant. So if you ask the restaurant to bring you olive oil and vinegar or something, there are unscrupulous, and I know people in the restaurant business that they save an expensive olive oil bottle and they refill it with soy oil.
Else,
I mean, it's disgusting. Yeah. So be careful when you're eating out.
So you can do the same thing. You can bring a little olive oil with you if necessary, or take it before or after you eat. That's not a problem either. Like we do with the Himalayan salt, we usually carry that with us. So there's a lot of things we can do here to help us besides just turning off the Wi-Fi, which seems scary to most of us, and to me too, I must admit. But I like to do it, and I look forward to the vacation when I'm not on it anymore. But of course, we do research on here a lot, so we really are endearing to these
well, sure we are, but you know, I have the whole procedure for I mean, we could actually, you and I could actually, there's Ethernet cables. We could get our own Ethernet cables and plug in here.
Yeah, but then we got all this other stuff too. So
it's tough in here. But when you're at home, we can connect these iPads and still have a way to reduce it. But folks, we really want to help you realize that we are facing some challenges that are multifactorial, not just our food. It's how we sleep, how we're breathing, what we're thinking, whether we're de-stressing, whether we're disconnecting, so we can help.
What your working environment is like.
That's right.
Thanks for sticking around, folks. Hope we helped you a little bit.
Then we'll see you next show.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.